important factor controlling us in the material world, whereas the spiritual world is not influenced by time. Only akarmas can free us and elevate us to the spiritual world. Prahlad Maharaj says to Lord Narsimha in his prayers that he fears the material world, Dushkar. Bali Maharaj was a great devotee of the Lord. When Lord appeared as Vamandev begging for 3 steps of land, Shukracharya warned him and advised him not to give it. In spite of knowing the consequences of giving 3 steps of land, he honored Vamandev and donated 3 steps of land. He counteracted the arguments of Shukracharya perfectly. When Lord does Vishesh Kripa and bestows his special mercy on a devotee, he loses all his wealth and becomes a pauper, but it is for his own spiritual advancement. Later, he gets rewarded with eternal opulences. Example is of Bali Maharaj, who got to rule Sutta Loka with Lord as his doorkeeper. Even in Swarga Loka, they are bound by time and karmas, no matter how much wealthy they are. Hare Krishna.
Hare, Hare Bol, we say Hare Bol, Hare Bol, Hare. So we can start with the shloka recitation. Who will start? 34, text 34. Just give me a minute. Param Shakti Mataji has not come?
No, Prabhuji.
Okay. Who will sit? Yeah. Renuka Mataji, you can sit and start the shlokas.
नहीं वो
आप बोल रहे हैं
नहीं ये दे कॉर्डलेस मत दो कॉर्डलेस से ब्लूटूथ कनेक्शन वो दे दो ना निकाल दो यू आर डूइंग 30
we are starting with 34
okay start
8 I'll say from here only
या से मैं आपको माइक दे रहा हूँ दे दो
No, this is not the shloka, Prabhu. I think so.
No, this is not. 8, 15, 34. 8, Canto 8, chapter 15, verse 34.
Canto 6
Canto 8.
हाँ Canto 8 sorry Bali Maharaj Pankaj
श्लोका नंबर
Yes.
बात है
34.
ऊपर 34
34. Advance view निकाल दो.
Canto 8 34 ये निकाल दो आगे आप 8 point
चैप्टर 15 के
8 15 34
Canto 8.
Canto 8.
और कहीं जाएगा
नहीं, Canto 8 you have to write Canto.
प्रभु जी 8 नहीं डाला
8 point you have to write 8 point, not stroke.
8.15
8 point. Okay.
Direct remove the chapter and scroll the chapter. Just scroll the chapter up there. 8 chapter. Scroll the chapter. 8th canto. बराबर scroll it. 35. ठीक है. Start that.
yes माता जी
Yes. Tam Vishwa Jainam Shishyam
Tam Vishwa
Vigavah Shishyavatsalah Shatena Hayamedhanam
Anam.
Ayajayan.
Each and every word.
Come unto him, Bali Maharaj, Vishwa Jainam, the conqueror of the entire universe, Shishyam, because of his being a disciple, Brigava, the Brahmana, descendants of Brigu, like Shukracharya, Shishya Vatsalaha, being very pleased with the disciples, Shatena by 100, Hayamedhanam, sacrifices known as Ashwamedha, Anuvratam, following the instructions of the Brahmanas, Ayajan, caused to execute. The Brahmana descendants of Brigu, being very pleased with their disciple who had conquered the entire universe, now engaged him in performing 100 Ashwamedha sacrifices. We have seen in the dispute between Maharaj Prithu and Indra that when Maharaj Prithu wanted to perform 100 Ashwamedha Yagyas, Indra wanted to impede him, for it is because of such great sacrifices that Indra was made king of heaven. Here the Brahmana descendants of Brigu decided that although Maharaj Bali was situated on the throne of Indra, he would not be able to stay there unless he performed such sacrifices. Therefore, they advised Maharaj Bali to perform at least many Ashwamedh yagyas as Indra. The word Ayajayan indicates that all the Brahmanas induced Bali Maharaj to perform such sacrifices.
So one thing over here we learn is that for any position or any place, there requires a qualification. People in the material world want to go to Swargaloka or higher planets. You know, now SpaceX is there, or many other people are trying to go using, the material way to reach to the higher planets. But unless and until you are not qualified, you will not be allowed by the law of nature to stay over there. Law of nature works much higher, whether it is a material post or spiritual post. Qualifications are required. Qualifications are required. And that's why here Shukracharya advises him that the minimum qualification for Indra is Shatakrita. His name is Shatakrita. 100 yagyas. They have to perform 100 yagyas, Ashwamedha yagyas. But in Kali Yuga, it is said such Ashwamedha yagyas are prohibited. So what type of yagya is recommended by our Shastra? The yagya that is recommended by our Shastras and our Guru Parampara is Sankirtan yagya. When we perform the Sankirtan yagya, it is more powerful than the Ashwamedha yagya. That's why it is very easy in the Kali Yuga that without doing the Ashwamedha yagya, one can surpass and go directly to Vaikuntha and Goloka simply by doing the Sankirtan yagya. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. Next shloka, Mataji, please read.
ततस्तत् अनुभावेन भुवनात्रय विश्रुताम् कीर्तिं दिक्षु वितान्वानः सरेजा उदुरादिवः Tata thereafter, Tat Anubhavena, because of performing such great sacrifices, Bhuvanatraya, throughout the three worlds, Vishrutam, celebrated, Kirtim, reputation, Dikshu, in all directions, Vitanvanaha, spreading, Saha, Bali Maharaj, Reje, became effulgent, Udurat, the moon, Iva, light. When Bali Maharaj performed these sacrifices, he gained a great reputation in all directions throughout the three worlds. Thus he shone in his position like the brilliant moon in the sky.
One thing you have to understand, in Bhagavad Gita it is said, Yo Shastra Visi Utsarja Vartate Kamakarata Na Siddhim Na Sukham Na Param Gatim. So, if one doesn't follow the Shastra Vidhi, he will never ever get Siddhi, Sukham, or Paramgati. But when follows the Shastra Vidhi, he is sure to, the perfection. He will be sure to get the Siddhi in the Karyas, and he will be sure to go back to the spiritual world. That is what, once followed Vidhi properly, the result is you are destined to have that result of going back, and success is there. But one doesn't follow the Vidhi, then definitely one will achieve failure. So here we see that Bali Maharaj, as per the advice of Shukracharya and the Bhrigu Maharaj Vanshaya, they were able, Bali Maharaj was able to, get the reputation, get the success, everything. So our Guru Parampara system has firmly requested all of us. Prabhuji, I have this thing on my mobile. I want the screen to be full so I can see the people actually in 4 parts, 5 parts. Remove this thing, Prabhuji. Remove the shlokas. Bas. Okay. Everybody on the mobile, they have these things. I think so. They can follow the mobile thing. It will be better. And so one thing is for sure, that our Guru Parampara has given us a vidhi. And that vidhi is that we have to strictly follow the 4 regulative principles. We have to see that our house becomes a temple. This is the vidhi which is given. We have to see that all our activities are around Lord Krishna, Guru, and Vaishnavas. Then it is possible that the Param Siddhi of going back to the spiritual world will be achieved. Otherwise, we'll not get the success. So following the Vidhi will definitely result in the success. Next shloka, Mataji, please read.
Bhubuje cha shriyam sriddham Dvija devo palambitam Krita krityamivatmanam Manyamano mahatmanaha enjoyed also Shriyam opulence, Suridham prosperity, Dvija of the Brahmanas, Deva as good as the demigods, Upalambitam achieved because of the favor, Krita Krityam very satisfied by his activities, Iva like that, Atmanam himself, Mayamanaha thinking, Mahamanaha the great minded. Because of the favor of the Brahmanas, the great soul Bali Maharaj, thinking himself very satisfied, became very opulent and prosperous and began to enjoy the kingdom. The Brahmanas are called Dvija Deva and Kshatriyas are generally called Nara Deva. The word Deva actually refers to the Supreme Personality of Godhead. The Brahmanas guide human society in becoming happy by satisfying Lord Vishnu, and according to their advice, the Kshatriyas, who are called Naradeva, keep law and order so that other people, namely the Vaishyas and Shudras, may properly follow regulative principles. In this way, people are gradually elevated to Krishna consciousness. Thus ends the Bhaktivedanta purports of the 8th canto, 15th chapter of the Srimad Bhagavatam, entitled Bali Maharaj Conquers the Heavenly Planets.
So here one thing we have to understand, in each and every field, you require favor and blessings. Whether you are in a तामसी field, अगर आपको गुंडा भी बनना है तो एक बड़े गुंडे का आपको सहारा चाहिए. अगर आपको पॉलिटिशियन बनना है पावरफुल, तो बड़े पॉलिटिशियन का आपको हाथ चाहिए. If you want to become a big businessman in any field, you have to associate with a big person. If you have to become a very general Mayavadi yoga, Satuguni person, or like that, Ramdev Baba or something like that, then you have to associate with that type of people and they require favor. But all this type of favor will not help you to cut the karma bandhanas. All type of favor will increase our karma bandhanas. And there are chances that as per our past karma, we will suffer more. Because Prahlad Maharaj says, when there is a problem in the material world, the solution that is given is more problematic. It gives to another problem. And we have seen that the past history has shown in Kali Yuga, materialistic problem trying to solve by another materialistic problem will never gain success. It will only create more and more new types of problems. Material problems can be only cut down by the favor of Guru and Vaishnavas, by the blessings and their power. But we know in the spiritual world, we also require blessings. We also require favor. We require favor of the Lord, who is in the form of his name, who is in the form of his deities, who is in the form of Bhagavatam. The more you associate with Bhagavatam, the more you associate with the deities, the more you associate with the holy name, the more you associate with the senior Vaishnava Seva, that favor will help you go very long in your spiritual life. And that's why Seva is the prime, without any offenses, to get the Param Siddhi in our life. Start with the next chapter.
8.16.1 Shri Shukha Uvacha Evam Putreshu Nashteshu Deva Mataditistada Vite Tri Daitye Paryatapyat Anatavad Shri Shukha Uvacha, Shri Shukdev Goswami said, Evam, in this way, Putreshu, when her sons, Nashteshu, disappearing from their position, Deva Mata, the mother of the demigods, Aditi, Tada, at that time, Rite, because of being lost, Trivishtape, the kingdom of heaven, Daitye, by the influence of the demons, Paryat began to lament, Anathavat, as if she had no protector. Sukdev Goswami said, O king, when Aditi's sons, the demigods, had thus disappeared from heaven and the demons had occupied their place, Aditi began lamenting as if she had no protector.
Okay, so one thing we have to understand, last time also we have discussed, in this material world, I was reading that day Bhagavatam, and very nicely one shloka comes, where it says, Eko ayam aso, dvija palaha, tris mulam, and chatura rasa, pancha vidha, shashtha atma, and sapta tvaga, ashta vidapa, and ashta vidaha, sapta. So in this, the devatas, when Lord appeared in the garbha of Devaki Mata, very nicely, the first shlok that the devatas spoke, Satyavratam Satyaparam Sri Satya Satyaparam Satyavratam Satyaparam Sri Satyam Satyasya Yuni Snihitam Cha Satya Satyasya Satya Vritaretra Satyam Satya Atmakam Tvam Sharanam Trapannam. He says, you are the real truth, they are saying. But after that shlok, the second shloka is very important. In the knowledge about the body, it is given in the form of 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Very simple knowledge they have given in that shloka. And in that shloka, he says one means this entire material body is dependent on the, the material existence, because we are not this body. This entire body is completely dependent on this material world. And we are not that. The second, he says, dofala, dvifala. Dvifala means that the body has two types, and it is compared with a tree. This body is compared. The Devatas compared the body with the tree. He said there are two phala in this body. What are the two phala? Sukha and dukha. And what is the mula of this body? Triguna. Three mula. That it is depending on the three mulas. That Satogun, Rajogun, and Tamogun. Because of the Satogun, Rajogun, Ganon, always you are getting Sukha and Dukha. And the four, he says that are four rasa in this body. And what are that four rasa? He says Dharma, Artha, Kama, and Moksha. That is the rasa by which this body is engaged into. Dharma, Artha, Kama, Moksha. And there are five vidhi by which you try to enjoy this Dharma, Artha, Kama. And what are that? Five senses. We have the five senses. And then the sixth, they says there are six types of Atma, the ways that happen because of this. And what are that? Hunger, thirst, janma, mrityu, bhaya, and shoka. So, shoka, bhaya, hunger, thirst, and this thing. These are the six things. So here we see, even in the Swargaloka, Kunti, Aditi Mata, lamentation is not there. Ego is always there. Problem is always there. So in entire Brahmand, whichever place you go, you will find this place. You go either in America or you are sitting in America, there are different types of problems. You cannot venture out. The cold is so strong. I was wondering how Srila Prabhupada in this cold of America was able to survive. We Indians cannot actually tolerate so much cold. Even you have to have everything inside. At the night time also, with the heater on, you have to have everything. And 24 hours, you should have the thermal inside. So that is the cold which is here. So problems and lamentations and different types of different places you go. This is the fact of the life. Dukhalaya Sashvatam. Whether mother is there, Swargaloka, Aditi is in total lamentation, and she is also suffering. So people going to have planning to do punya in this material world, and after doing punya, they go to Swargaloka is actually a waste of time. Lord says this in the Bhagavad Gita also. Shine punya martalokam. As per your punyas are there, you will enjoy. But when the punyas are finished, you will again have to come back in the birth, death, old age, and disease. So the Shastra, when we see to the Chakshu Shastra, from the eyes of the Shastra, we can understand that whichever place you go, the problem variety will change, but the problem will be there. By changing the position, the problem doesn't change, your karma doesn't change. Through your karmas, you have to suffer, then you have to suffer. But yes, there is an escape. There is an escape. Yat karoshi, yad ashnashi, yad juhoshi, dadashi, yat tapasyasi kaunteya, tat kurushvamat. Now we will see in this Payodrivat that how Kashyap, who is the Bhakta, how he engages in the bhakti, and through the bhakti madhyam, he tries to find out the solution. He engages in the vrata. The same thing Kashyap did with Diti also. If you know that Diti wanted a son so that it can kill Indra. And that 1 year vrata, what Bhaktimay vrata Diti did, helped to create a son which was favorable to Indra. And Indra was sitting there just to find out if she can do any problem or any mistake. And the one mistake that Diti did in the vrata was that she didn't wash the face after eating and went to sleep because she was tired. Small mistake. And Indra entered the womb. And Indra entered and cut that womb into 7 parts. But the child was saying that we are yours, and that were Marutas, and then each and every was cut into again
The
7,
seven parts.
49. So 49 Marutas came and they appeared in front of Diti, and Diti was also after performing that bhakti. So the solution is there, but trying to find a material solution will only increase the lamentation, will always increase the problem. The solution is Bhagavatam has all the solutions. We have to surrender ourselves to Bhagavatam. We have to surrender ourselves to the Vaishnava. Bhagavatam has the solution. Each and every chapter of Bhagavatam gives a solution. And that's why when we read such stories, we have to understand the fact. Without going back to the spiritual world, there is no shanti for the Jivatma. कहीं भी शांति नहीं मिलने वाली. Situations change होगी, karma change होगा. Okay? Please read further.
एकदा कश्यप तस्य आश्रमं भगवान् अगात्
आश्रमं भगवान्
निरुत्सवं निरानन्दम्
निरानन्दम्
समाधिर्विरतश्चिरात्.
समाधिर्विरतश्चिरात्.
Ekada one day Kashyapa, the great sage Kashyapa Muni, Tasya of Aditi, ashram to the shelter, Bhagwan, greatly powerful, Agat went, Nirutsavam without enthusiasm, Niranandam without jubilation, Samadhe, his trance, Virata, stopping, Chirat, after a long time. After many, many days, the great powerful sage Kashyapa Muni arose from a trance of meditation and returned home to see the ashrama of Aditi, neither jubilant nor festive.
See here, the conversation between Aditi and Kashyap Muni is very nice on the material level. How on material level, if somebody is not doing at least the goodness level thing and he is acting in the Rajoguna and Tamoguna, how he has to suffer. At least what are the basic things in the house that one has to do to keep that house happily. The conversation will lead more new insight in that conversation. Let's go further.
Sapatnim deenavadanam
स्वपत्नीं दीनवादान्
Ritsana parigrahaha Samajito yatha nyayam Idam aha kurudvaha Sir Kashyapa Muni Patnim unto his wife Deenavadanam, having a dry face, Krita Asana Parigraha, after accepting a sitting place, Sabhajita being honored by Aditi Yatha Nyayam, according to time and place, Idam Aha spoke as follows, Kuru Udvaha, O Maharaj Parikshit, the best of the Kurus. O best of the Kurus, when Kashyapa Muni had been properly received and welcomed, he took his seat and then spoke as follows to his wife Aditi, who was very morose.
Text 4.
Apiya bhadram na vipranam
अप्यभद्रं विक्रम
bhadre loke to nagatam dharmasya na lokasya mrityu chandanuvartina Happy whether abhadram ill fortune na not vipranam of the brahmanas bhadre o most gentle aditi loke in this world aduna at the present moment agatam has come na not dharmasya of religious principles na not lokasya of the people in general mrityo death chanda anuvartina who are followers of the whims of death. O most gentle one, I wonder whether anything inauspicious has now taken place in regard to religious principles, the brahmanas or the people in general who are subject to the whims of death.
Very nice. See, now please read the purport.
There are prescribed duties for all the inhabitants of this material world, especially for the brahmanas, but also for the people in general who are subject to the whims of death. Kashyapa Muni wondered whether the regulative principles which are meant for the well-being of everyone has been disobeyed. He accordingly continued his inquiries for 7 verses.
So, in the 7 verses, see, Lord says clearly in Bhagavad Gita also, we know there are 4 ashramas and 4 varnas. Brahmachari, Grahastha, Vanprastha, and Sannyasi. And there are 4 ashrams. 4 varnas. Brahman, Kshatriya, Vaishya, and Shudra. And everybody has to do the work according to the Varnashram Dharma. We know in Kali Yuga, this system is completely lost, but still, we know there are education class, we know that there are 4 classes. Brahman class is called as the intellectual class, and then the Kshatriya class is called as the administrative class. The Vaishya class is called as the business class, and the Shudra class is called as the working class. We do not say that word Shudra, Vaishya, Brahmana, or Kshatriya. We call it as intellectual class, business class, or we call it as administrative class, or we call it as a working class, working labor class. But there are classes in today's society also. And whatever he is there, in whichever class, he has to perform certain duties. If he fails to perform that duty, that itself will create problem in his life. One has to become smart of how to balance the household duty, the business duties, and keeping the Lord in the center. That art we have to learn who is already practicing. And we have to take the help of the Guru, Vaishnava, Bhagavata, and the people who are surrounding us to keep Lord Krishna in the center. At the same time, see that whatever household activities are there, whatever duties are there, we have to perform. If you don't perform that duties, that will, Arjuna wanted to leave the battlefield and wanted to take sannyas. But Krishna clearly told that you are Kshatriya. You cannot leave this battle at this moment. But you do it for my pleasure. You do not do for your thing, because you want to leave everything and you want to leave your dharma. But keep me in the center. Sarva dharman parityajya mam ekam sharanam braja aham toam sarva papibhyo mokshashyami yat karoshi yadashnashi yat juhoshi dadashi yat tapasyasi kaunteya tat kurushma tarpana. If you are a student, study nicely. If you are householder, see that the house becomes not a house of a sense gratification, but a house where Krishna is in the center. That is the main purpose. At the same time, the material requirement should come down and a spiritual requirement should be increasing. Now, what is happening? A material requirement is high, spiritual requirement is very low. We have to come to an equilibrium point where at least that things get balanced. And that seva should be there. Let's read further. Mataji.
Yeah. Api va kushalam kinchit.
Api va kunsalam kinchit.
Griheshu grihamedini.
Griheshu grahamedini.
Dharmasyarthasya kamasya.
Dharmasyarthasya kamasya.
Yatra yogo hiya yoginam.
Yatra yogo yoginam.
Api, I'm wondering, were either a kaushalam, inauspiciousness, kinchit, some griheshu at home, grihamedini, or my wife who are attached to household life, dharmasya, of the principles of religion, arthasya, of the economic condition, kamasya, of satisfaction of desires, yatra, at home, yoga, the result of meditation, he indeed a yoginam, even of those who are not transcendentalists. O my wife, who are very much attached to household life and the principles of religion, economic development, and satisfaction of the senses are properly followed in household life, one's activities are as good as those of a transcendentalist. I wonder whether there have been any discrepancies in following these principles.
Perfect.
In this verse, Aditi has been addressed by her husband Kashyapa, Muni as Grihamedini, which means one who is satisfied in household life for sense gratification. Generally, those who are in household life pursue sense gratification in the field of activities performed for material results. Such Grihamedis have only one aim in life, self sense gratification. Therefore, it is said, Yan Maithunadi Grihamedi Sukham Hitucham. The householder's life is based on sense gratification, and therefore the happiness derived from it is very meager. Nonetheless, the Vedic process is so comprehensive that even in householder life, one can adjust his activities according to the regulative principles of dharma, artha, kama, and moksha. One's aim should be to achieve liberation, but because one cannot at once give up sense gratification in the Shastras, there are injunctions prescribing how to follow the principles of religion, economic development, and sense gratification, as explained in Srimad Bhagavatam, Dharmasya hi apavargasya natho arthaya upakalpate. All occupational engagements are certainly meant for ultimate liberation. They should never be performed for material gain. Those who are household life those who are in household life should not think that religion is meant to improve the process of the householder. Sense gratification. Household life is also meant for advancement in spiritual understanding, by which one can ultimately gain liberation from the material clutches. One should remain in household life with the aim of understanding the ultimate goal of life, Tatya Jigyasa. Then household life is as good as the life of a yogi. Kashyap Muni therefore inquired from his wife whether the principles of religion, economic development, and sense gratification were being properly followed in terms of the Shastric injunction. As soon as one deviates from the injunctions of the Shastra, the purpose of household life is immediately lost in confusion.
Very rightly, Srila Prabhupada says over here. As soon as one deviates from the injunction of the Shastras, the purpose of the household life is immediately lost in confusion. We see today in the household Kali Yuga life how day by day people are becoming more and more Rajoguni and Tamasi, and how money, power, status is becoming the center of the house. So when that is the only center of the house, then definitely that house is like a dark well, andhakupa, dark well where there is no end to it. So one has to tolerate, first of all, whatever our past karmas are there, because according to past karmas, we get situations. But at the same time, we have to pray to the Lord that please help me out. Pray to the Vaishnavas, pray to the Shastras, pray to Srila Prabhupada and others, that I sincerely want to get out of these things. So please help me out. And Lord, according to the sincerity, ye yathamam prapadyate tans tateva bachamyaham, will give us help to see that whatever duties we are doing, we do it very nicely. But if kama, krodha, and lobh is added in the material life, then we are destined that that thing will definitely will be a failure. That thing will only cause us suffering, because household life also are meant with certain restrictions. Every ashram is meant with some restrictions, but the unfortunate thing, from our childhood, we are giving the English education to our children from our childhood. And English education only creates Rajogun and Tamogun society. And in that Rajogun and Tamogun society, sense gratification is the highest priority. And for that, they will do anything. Please read text 6.
Api api vatithayo abhyeta kutumba shaktaya tvaya grihada pujita yataha pratyuthanena va kvachit api whether va either atithaya guests who come without an invitation, abhyetya coming to the home, kutumba asaktaya who were too attached to the family members, tvaya by you, grahat from the house, apujita without being properly welcomed, yataha went away, pratyuthanena by standing up, were either kvachit sometimes. I wonder whether because of being too attached to the members of your family, you failed to properly receive uninvited guests who therefore were not welcome and went away. It is the duty of a householder to receive guests, even if a guest be an enemy. When a guest comes to one's home, one should properly receive him by standing up and offering him a seat. It is enjoined, Grihe Shatrum Api Praptam Vishvatam Akuto Bhayam. If even an enemy comes to one's home, one should receive him in such a way that the guest will forget that his host is an enemy. According to one's position, one should properly receive anyone who comes to one's home. At least a seat and a glass of water should be offered so that the guest will not be displeased. Kashyapa Muni inquired from Aditi whether disrespect had been shown to such guests or atitis. The word atiti refers to one who comes without an invitation.
So, as far as devotees are concerned, any devotee who comes, we first offer him, water and milk. We do not offer him tea. If we want tea, then we will offer him that type of tea, which is Ayurvedic tea. And we will say how, this tea is very helpful for the body because our Thakurji takes these things. And we always give some prasad, which is offered to the Krishna, to the devotees. And that way, we try to honor the person who comes at our house. But, when we go to somebody's house as a guest, we will also take water, but we will not take the food. As an honor, we can take something which is fruits or something and offer it to the Lord, but not take anything which is not offered to the Lord. That we should be very, very careful as a guest when we go to somebody's house. Because eating from the hand of a non-devotee or eating from the hand which is not offered to the Lord is strictly prohibited for the devotees. That we have to understand. Because yatha anna, jaisa anna vaisa man. The food that you eat is what you are made of. Okay? So honoring the guest is one of the important principles for the devotees, whichever guest it comes. And especially when the kirtan should be there, prasadam should be there. And see that he somehow, you can speak about good and see that we can talk him more about Krishna. Okay, go further, Mataji.
Teheshu yeshu athithayo
Greshu Yeshwatitayo
Achita salilerapi
Narjita Salile Ravi
Yadi niryanti te nunam
Yadi Niryanti Te Nunam
Vedu Raja Grihopamaha Geshu at home, Geshu which Atitaha uninvited guests, Na not Archita welcome, Salile api even by offering a glass of water, Yadi if Niryanti they go away, Te such household life, Nunam indeed, Feru Raja of jackals, Graha the homes, Upama like. Homes from which guests go away without having been received, even with an offering of a little water, are like those holes in the field which are the homes of jackals. In a field, there are many holes made by snakes and mice, but when there are very big holes, it may be supposed that jackals live there. Certainly, no one goes to take shelter in such homes. Thus, the home of human beings where atitis, uninvited guests, are not properly received, are like the homes of jackals.
Bhagavatam teaches us all type of, what we call as sadachar. Each and every word over here spoken by Kashyap Muni teaches us the sadachar. Never hurt anybody. Even if you cannot, if you don't like, but don't say such words which hurt others. Because that is called as Vani Tapasya. So here, each and every such actions. So Kashyap Muni didn't knew that their sons were, everything was stolen because he was son for asuras and for Rakshasas, because they both were their son only. And they had created this progeny because of the order of Brahmaji. Diti or Aditi, both are sons of Kashyapa. So we have to understand one thing over here, that there are certain rules which everybody has to abide, especially the Grahasthas. Yes, position is of a Grahasthas. If one has to be happy, never speak ill about others. Never speak, keep a dvesh for anybody. If you keep the envy for anybody, that envy is going to hurt you first. It is said in the Rajoguni house, they enjoy speaking ill about others, but they fail to understand when we speak ill about others, especially we are trying to take 50% of their karmas. किसी के बारे में जब आप बुरा बोलते हो तो आधा कर्म उसका ले लेते, आधा पाप ले लेते, तो ऐसा ऐसा क्यों करना है हमें? That's why in devotee circle we say amanina man dena kirtanya sada hari. Never take man, but always give man. Please go further, Mataji.
Api agnayastu velayam
Gaya.
Nahuta havisha sati
Naruta Havisasati.
Vayodvigna dhiya bhadre
Vayodvigna Dhiya Bhadre.
Roshite mai karvichit
Roshite Mahikarvichit.
Api whether Agnaya fire to indeed Velayam in the fire sacrifice na not Utaha offered Havisha by ghee Sati O chaste women Tvaya by you Udvigna Dhiya because of some anxiety Bhadre O auspicious woman Proshate was away from home Mai when I Karhichit sometimes O chaste and auspicious woman when I left home for other places, were you in so much anxiety that you did not offer oblations of ghee into the fire?
यहाँ पे we have to understand one thing. This obligation was given in the fire to satisfy the devatas, यज्ञ विधि. और आज के टाइम में जो यज्ञ विधि है हमारे लिए डिवोटीज के लिए, it is to offer the prasad to the Lord first. Never fail to offer prasad to the Lord. You have Thakurji in your house, please offer it first to the Lord. And see that whatever our Guru and Acharyas have given for the Yajna Vidhi for Kali Yuga, that we have to do. The Yajna Vidhi is chanting of the holy name. Every day without fail, we have to chant the holy name without fail. The day you won't chant the holy name, that day will never go. तुम्हारा अगर 16 माला बराबर नहीं हो रहा तो कभी भी तुम्हारा दिन अच्छा नहीं जाएगा. Try to see that in the morning time only, whatever the yajnas that we have to do, we complete that morning program nicely. It is said for the devotees grahastha, morning program is very, very important. And if you fail to do that, definitely there will be problem in your family. What to speak about the Rajoguni and Tamoguni people who, the Tamoguni get up at 12 o'clock in the afternoon. They sleep in the morning, 5 o'clock, 6 o'clock. For them, the vidhi is definitely different. They get up. And the Rajoguni जैसे ही उठता है तो पहले चाय पिएगा, फिर ब्रश करेगा. That is the normal vidhi of the Rajoguni and Tamoguni. सूर्य देव उठने के बाद उनका दर्शन होता है. उन लोग ने सूर्य देव का कभी दर्शन ही नहीं दिया. But for our devotees, getting up in the Mangala Arati, before the Brahma Muhurta, for householders 1 hour, there is concession is given. But before that, he has to get up. He has to see that the Lord is offered, Arati is done, Bhogas are prepared for the Lord, prayers are done in the line of the Guru Parampara, and then the chanting is done, and the Narsing Praman, Tulsi Seva, all is done properly. And if that is done properly, he will not be morose. He will be able to have that strength to fight the day. You'll have that strength to fight it. But if you fail to do all these things in the morning, definitely तुम्हारा दिन खराब जाएगा. Okay, so this is the connection. We are connecting with what Kashyap Muni is trying to say, that devatas, and even the Lord says in the Bhagavad Gita, in the 3rd chapter, that you have to have a cordial relation with the devatas. You know, yajna arthat karmano anyatra loko ayam karma bandhana tadartham karma kaunteya mukta sangha parami. That when you do the yajna, you know, all the Devi Devata are very happy. But if you are not doing, you are stena, you are chore. The word that is used in the Bhagavad Gita, you are chore. Trying to take everything from the Lord, but not giving anything to the Lord. So at least we should not be that. You know, it is said that everything requires Shuddhi. Dhan ki Shuddhi dana se hoti hai. Without giving dan to a grahastha. Grahasthas are meant to give dan because brahmacharis don't earn, vanpras don't earn, and sannyasis don't earn. But it is expected from the grahasthas that minimum 10% to 50% they have to donate of their life for the other ashramas. It is meant for them, so that they can be helped out. So we have to understand that the yajna vidhi is compulsory to become happy in this material world. And Lord says in the Bhagavad Gita, those who do not perform yajna vidhi and only living for sense gratification, he says mogha पार्थसा जीवित, the word that is used in Bhagavad Gita, मोघ पार्थ जीवित, वो बेकार का उसका जीवन is useless. That life is useless where he doesn't have anything for the purpose of the lords and the devatas. Okay, please go.
यत् पूजाय कामदुःखान् लोकान् गृहान्वितः इष्ट वै विष्णु सर्वदेवात्मनो मुखम्. Jaya, worshipping the fire and brahmanas, kamadughan, which fulfills one's desires, yati, one goes, lokan, to the destination of the higher planetary system, griha anvitaha, a person attached to household life, brahmana, the brahmanas, agni cha, and the fire by indeed Vishnu, of Lord Vishnu, sarvadeva atmana, the soul of all the demigods, mukham, the mouth. By worshipping the fire and the brahmanas, a householder can achieve the desired goal of residing in the higher planets. For the sacrificial fire and the brahmanas are to be considered the mouth of Lord Vishnu, who is the super soul of all the demigods. According to the Vedic system, a fire sacrifice is held in order to offer oblations of ghee, grains, fruits, flowers, and so on, so that Lord Vishnu may eat and be satisfied. The Lord says in Bhagavad Gita, Patram Pushpam Phalam Toyam Yo Me Bhaktya Prayachati Tadaham Bhakti Uparitam Ashnami Priyatatmana. If one offers me with love and devotion a leaf, a flower, fruit, or water, I will accept it. Therefore, all these items may be offered in the sacrificial fire, and Lord Vishnu will be satisfied. Similarly, Brahmana Bhojana, feeding of the Brahmanas, is also recommended, for when the Brahmanas eat sumptuous remnants of food after Yajna, this is another way that Lord Vishnu himself eats.
See,
Therefore,
this
the
is,
Vedic.
we do not have that fire, but we have the Brahmanas, the Vaishnavas. At least call them and feed them. By that, at least the Lord will be satisfied. The people who are engaged in the Krishna Seva, when you feed them, Lord is very much satisfied. कहते हैं ना कि बड़े आदमी के घर में जाएंगे और समझो आप उसको लाख रुपए का चीज दोगे तो उतना वो खुश नहीं होगा, लेकिन आप कुछ छोटा सा गिफ्ट उसके बच्चे को दे दोगे, एक टॉफी दे दोगे या कुछ खाना दे दोगे, he will be more pleased. So similarly, Lord is more pleased when the Vaishnavas or Brahmanas are fed and satisfied. Okay. Please read, Mataji, further.
Therefore, the Vedic principles recommend that in every festival or ceremony, one offers oblations to the fire and gives sumptuous food for the Brahmanas to eat. By such activities, a householder may be elevated to the heavenly planets and similar places in the higher planetary system.
Read further.
Prabhuji, 1 minute. What was
10.
10, yeah. Api sarve kushalinaas Putra Manaswini Lakshaye Swastham Atmanam Bhavatya Lakshaneraham Api whether survey all Kushalina in full auspiciousness Tava your Putra sons Manaswini, O great minded lady, Dakshay I see Aswatham not in tranquility, Atmanam the mind, Bhavatya of you, Lakshane by symptoms, Aham I. O great minded lady, are all your sons faring well? Seeing your withered face, I can perceive that your mind is not tranquil. How is this so?
Text 11.
Shri Aditi Uvacha Atram Vijagavam Brahman Dharmasyasya Janasya Cha Trivargas Param Kshetram Griha Medin Griha Ime Shri Aditi Vacha Srimati Aditi said Bhadram all auspiciousness Dvija Gavam of the Brahmanas and the cows Brahman O Brahmana Dharmasya asya of the religious principles mentioned in Shastras, Janasya of the people in general, Cha and Trivargasya of the three processes of elevation, Dharma, Artha and Kama, Param the supreme, Kshetram field, Grihamedin, O my husband, who are attached to household life, Griha, your home, Ime, all these things. Aditi said, O my respected Brahmana husband, all is well with the Brahmanas, the cows, religion, and the welfare of the other people. O master of the house, the three principles of Dharma, Artha, and Kam flourish in household life, which is consequently full of good fortune. In household life, one can develop the three principles of religion, economic development, and sense gratification according to the regulations given in the Shastras. But to attain liberation, one must give up household life and place himself in the transcendental renounced order. Kashyapa Muni was not in the renounced order of life. Therefore, he is addressed here once as Brahman and another time as Grihamedin. Aditi, his wife, assured him that as far as household life was concerned, everything was going nicely and the Brahmanas and cows were being honored and protected. In other words, there were no disturbances. Household life was duly progressing.
So, uh, one thing is there that if the children are also not happy, the family peoples are not happy. But children are not happy, we have to understand that it goes very long back. Here we understand that when the dharmas are not properly followed, and after that, if the question he didn't ask about the children's first. First, he followed all the dharmas thing. And now he is coming to the things because for parent, the children are the very important thing. And if they are not happy, the father and mother are also not happy. This is a natural thing that happens. But we have to understand, we are in a stage of a life where many people are not able to, whatever children we are having, that is our karma. It is not that we can change something, but at least whatever position we are in now, at least that we can do. We can give them prasad, we can give them association, we can try them to see that they say get connected with Krishna. By that only it is possible that the children will be happy. And if the children's sanskars are not given in the childhood, it is very difficult that he says ना झाड़ अगर बड़ा हो जाएगा बाद में उसको टेढ़ा करना और उसको करना it's very difficult. So the sanskars are given from the childhood. It is the duty of the father, duty of the mother. Whatever sanskar they give, that thing they will get back in the form. It is not something else we are getting. What we have given, we are getting back. Text 12.
Agnayo atithayo bhritya Vikshavo ye cha lipsavaha Sarvam bhagavato Brahman Anutyana narishyati. Agnaya worshipping the fire, Atitaya receiving the guests, Bhritya satisfying the servants, Bhikshava pleasing the beggars, yea, all of them who
और यहाँ पे बता, गृहस्थ को अपने जो सर्वेंट लोग हैं उनको भी खुश रखना है। अगर सर्वेंट खुश नहीं है तो घर का भी प्रॉब्लम हो जाएगा, काम करने में बहुत बड़ा प्रॉब्लम होता है। हाँ, सर्वेंट नहीं आएगा ना जिस दिन, तो उस दिन काम करने में बैंड बज जाती है। हाँ? आपको यूएस में वी हैव टू बी आ सर्वेंट, यहाँ तो आप सर्वेंट रख ही नहीं सकते हो। झाड़ू पोता मारना, टॉयलेट साफ करना, या फिर कुकिंग करना, बर्तन मांजना, सब आपको करना पड़ता है। हाँ? यहाँ आप सर्वेंट रख ही नहीं सकते हो। Yeah. So the servant also has to be kept happy actually. हाँ, उनकी जो रिक्वायरमेंट है वो पूरी करो, so they will be happy, otherwise that will create a problem. Then beggars, भीख मांगने वाले भी आएंगे, beggars. हाँ, there will be always some people, थोड़ा उनको भी दान दिया करो, हाँ, they will be happy. Then read further.
Bhikshava pleasing the beggars, yea, all of them who Cha and Lipsava as they desire are taken care of. Sarvam, all of them, Bhagavataha, of you, my Lord, Brahman, O Brahmana, Anudhyanath, from always thinking, Narishyati, nothing is missed, everything is properly done. O beloved husband, the fires, guests, servants, and beggars are all being properly cared for by me. Because I always think of you, there is no possibility that any of the religious principles will be neglected.
देखिए, यहाँ पे वेरी इंपॉर्टेंट पॉइंट अदिति सिंह, नाम नहीं खराब होना चाहिए। I didn't wanted your house, your name to be spoiled. That's why I'm taking care of this. So, you know, that is what is more important. क्योंकि आदमी का नाम रहता है, हाँ, उसने क्या कमाया क्या नहीं कमाया वो नहीं रहेगा, but whatever the name that he has earned, and the name comes by service, the names comes by seva, and the names comes by dan. It is never by enjoyment. The name, नाम कभी भी एंजॉयमेंट से नहीं होता है, बल्कि दूसरों के लिए जीवन जीने से होता है। ओके ओके, रीड फर्दर।
ओनु में भगवान कामो न संपद्येत मानसः यस्य भवान् प्रजाध्यक्ष
यस्य भवान् प्रजाध्यक्ष
एवं धर्मां प्रभाषते
एवं
what no indeed me my Bhagwan O Lord Kamaha desire na not sampadyeta can be fulfilled manasa within my mind yasya of me Bhavan your good self praja adhyaksha prajapati evam thus dharmam religious principles prabhasate talks. O my Lord, since you are a Prajapati and are personally my instructor in the principles of religion, where is the possibility that all my desires will not be fulfilled?
Very nicely here she is praising Kashyapa Muni, and she is saying that one, if the Guru, and if he is pleased and he tries to follow, then all the desires will be fulfilled. Text 14, and then we'll try to see that we'll finish the class.
तवैव मारीच मना शरीर राजः
Yeah.
प्रजा इमा सत्व रजस्तमोजुषः ओ भवांस्तस्व असुरदीषु प्रभो तथापि भक्तं भजते महेश्वर Tava your Iva indeed Maricha, O sons of Marichi, Mana Shariraja, born either of your body or of your mind, all the demons and demigods, Prajaha, born of you, Ima, all of them, Sattva, Raja, Tama, Jusha, infected with Sattva Guna, Rajoguna or Tamoguna, Sama, Equal Bhavan, your good self, Tasu, to every one of them, Asura Dishu, beginning with the Asuras, Prabhu, O my Lord, Tathapi still, Bhaktam unto the devotees, Bhajate takes care of Maheshwara, the Supreme Personality of Godhead, the Supreme Controller. O son of Marichi, because you are a great personality, you are equal towards all the demons and demigods who are born either from your body or from your mind and who possess one or another of the three qualities, Sattva-guna, Rajoguna, or Tamoguna. But although the Supreme Personality of Godhead, the Supreme Controller, is equal towards all living entities, he is specially favorable to the devotees. In Bhagavad Gita, the Lord says, Samoham sarva bhuteshu namedveshu sthina priha ye bhajanti tumam bhaktya maiteteshu chapiyaham. Although the Supreme Personality of Godhead is equal towards everyone, he is specially inclined towards those who engage in his devotional service. The Lord says, Konteya pratijanihi name bhaktya pranashyati. My dear son of Kunti, please declare that my devotees will never be vanquished. Elsewhere, Krishna also says, Ye yathamam prapadyante tam statheva bhajami aham mama vartamanu vartante manushya partha sarvashah. Actually, everyone is trying to please the Supreme Personality of Godhead in various ways, but according to their methods of approach, the Supreme Lord endows them with different benedictions. Thus, Aditi appealed to her husband by saying that since even the Supreme Controller favors his devotees, and since Indra, Kashyapa's devoted son, was in difficulty, Kashyapa should bestow his favor upon Indra.
Okay, so we'll stop the class over here. It's already 9:05, I think so. And let us discuss the most important points of today's class. Important points. Recall what are the important points. Somebody can raise their hands and you can give the mic. What are the important takeaway points for today's class?
For our material as well as spiritual problems, we have to keep Lord in the center. And
Yes.
we have to take the guidance from the Vaishnava, senior Vaishnava. Only
Senior
then our life.
Guru, Sadhu, and Shastra. And problems will be there, whichever position. Huh? But trying to solve the material problems through material will only create another problem, right?
And
Okay.
also in our Rasta life, if guests are coming or our servants or whatever, with whom
आज
we
का
are.
गृहस्थ को कैसे जीवन जीना चाहिए, अगर घर में सुखी रहना है, तो उसके बारे में कश्यप मुनि बता है, राइट?
कितने सालों पहले
Take
बताया?
care of them as well.
हाँ प्रभु जी, समथिंग कमेंट केम फ्रॉम
कितने युगों पहले ये बताया गया था, वो हम आज समझते हैं.
But because of the culture, the English culture, all this thing is lost actually. Do you agree with this?
Yes, agree.
पहले होता था, आपको मालूम होगा तो, हाँ? और फिर जॉइंट फैमिली में से फिर बाद में सिंगल फैमिली हो गई. अभी सिंगल फैमिली में हस्बैंड वाइफ हो गए, और अभी हस्बैंड वाइफ में से सिर्फ हस्बैंड अलग वाइफ अलग, ऐसा हो गया.
Now family. Now family.
And it will go on, प्रभु जी. कलयुग है ना प्रभु जी, हम कितना भी लेक्चर बाजी करें, the things are going to get deteriorated unless and until one doesn't take to bhakti. The things in the household life will go down, because the way the internet and Facebooks and all these things are there, the future generation mentality is completely destroyed. Because the higher taste is not there, higher goal is not there. और क्या है आज का मेन पॉइंट? और
Hare Krishna Prabhuji.
Yes.
Kashyap Muni raises a very important point. He tells Aditi that because when he comes back from his tapasya, he feels something is not right. So he tells him, have you followed the principles of dharma, artha, kama, moksha properly? Because if you are a grahastha and you follow these principles properly, then you are as good as a transcendentalist.
Yes.
And he can feel that they have not been followed. So he inquires, have the guests been taken care of? have the brahmanas been, have the cows been fed, have the guests been offered everything. So he can feel something's not right because Aditi is disturbed.
Yes.
So this is, he's inquiring he's having a very detailed inquiry, a very
Hmm.
detailed samvad with her.
And all this
then
was also that if there is a disturbance in the house, there is something, first you have to see from the higher level and then the lower level. Because higher level, if it's not okay, then the lower level will never be okay. Hmm? So Prabhupada has given us, the higher level, that morning program should be very strong. If we do not perform our morning program nicely, chanting, offering, reading, our day will not go in the house properly. Otherwise, it will be difficult. Any other point? Any others?
I have a question over here, Prabhuji. In
Yes.
this text, by Kashyapa Muni is telling Aditi about this. If the principles of religion, economic development, and satisfaction of senses are properly followed in household life, one's activities are as good as those of a transcendentalist. Now, does it explain how do you balance this?
The question is that अगर आप सत्वगुणी लेवल पे कर रहे हो ना काम, ये धर्म अपना धर्म स्वनिष्ठिता पुंसाम विश्वक्षेण कथा सुयत ना उत्पादयत यति रतिम श्रम एव ही केवलम. दैट इज द अल्टीमेट थिंग कि आप अपने धर्म का काम क्षत्रिय वैश्य बराबर कर रहे हो, लेकिन अल्टीमेटली अगर वो भगवान के प्रति आपको नहीं लेके जा रहे, सो आप अगर धर्म का काम कर रहे हो, जैसे आज और आप और हम हैं, पहले भी हम गणेश जी की भक्ति करते थे, हमारे घर में भी भक्ति होती थी, देवी की होती थी, इसकी होती थी, और जब आप निस्वार्थ भाव से उनकी सेवा करते हो, ऐसी देवी देवता हो, तो वो भी आपको हेल्प करते हैं भगवान की तरफ जाने के लिए. वो थोड़ा एक चीज आपको हेल्प करता है किस तरफ जाने के लिए, आगे जाने के लिए, एक लेवल से दूसरे लेवल पे जाने के लिए. जैसे आप बोलते हैं ना कि आपको एडमिशन मिल गया आईआईटी में, तो चलो भाई इंजीनियर में अभी आप बने नहीं आईआईटी, लेकिन फिर भी चांसेस है कि भविष्य आपका सुधर जाएगा. आईआईटी में एडमिशन तो मिल गया आपको. हाँ, तो आप अगर धर्म अर्थ काम मोक्ष के लेवल पे, मतलब सत्वगुण लेवल पे आ गए, तो देर आर चांसेस दैट यू कैन गो अप टू अ शुद्ध सत्व लेवल. हाँ, वो कहने का भाव था यहाँ.
हाँ, क्योंकि मेरा ये था कि इंटरप्रिटेशन हम तो बोलेंगे हम तो सब कुछ कर रहे हैं, तो फिर हम भी ट्रांसजेंडर तो कहीं ना कहीं, तो आई थिंक यू हैव आंसर्ड दैट प्रॉपर्ली कि एक सतो कुछ करता है तो वी कैन गो फर्दर अहेड.
यू कैन गो फर्दर. आईआईटी में एडमिशन मिल गया, लेकिन ऐसा नहीं है कि क्या फ्लाइट फ्यूचर ब्राइट है आपका, क्या है, एटलीस्ट आप सतोगुण लेवल पे हो, तो आप अच्छे काम कर रहे हो, तो चांसेस है कि यू कैन गो फर्दर अप. बट इफ यू रिमेन देयर ओनली, नॉट मेकिंग द फर्दर गोल, देन देयर आर नो चांसेस दैट नीचे नहीं गिर जाओगे. बहुत सारे लोग नीचे भी गिर जाते हैं उस लेवल से, अगर भक्ति नहीं है तो. एनी अदर comment or point which they liked in the class?
Yeah, I have a question.
Just a bit.
That Shloka, they were saying, uninvited person is a guest. Atithi means uninvited person.
Yes.
But
जिसका तिथि नहीं है उसको बोलते हैं अतिथि.
जो हमें अतिथि की डेफिनेशन थी वो थी गेस्ट, यू इनवाइट. तो जो इनवाइटेड होगी,
इनवाइटेड और अनइनवाइटेड, सी हम लोग भी उसको इनवाइट कर रहे हैं आज, ठीक है, लेकिन कभी कभी अनइनवाइटेड गेस्ट भी आ जाते हैं, तो वी शुड बी रिस्पेक्टिंग दैट. दैट इज अ कल्चर, दिस इज अ इंडियन कल्चर. बट इन द फॉरेन कल्चर, आप अगर कोई भूल से भी कहीं घुस गए अनइनवाइटेड, तो गोली गन लेके आ जाएगा, सीधा शूट कर देगा. उधर उधर का कल्चर यहाँ का अलग है.
हर एक चीज अपॉइंटमेंट लेके करनी पड़ती है.
यस यस यस.
Any questions, any observations or any comments on today's session, please?
I will like happy because I am sitting over here. I will like happy if you can give some suggestions and comment.
We are so happy to see you on Thursday that we forget everything else and just listen to you.
नहीं ठीक है, वो भी अच्छा लगता है, because this is our life for devotees. Speaking about Krishna, and talking about Krishna is the life for the devotees. अगर वो नहीं बोलता है तो उसकी life useless है. So today's main point is that Bhagavatam teaches कैसे भक्ति भी करना है, कैसे जीवन भी जीना है, और कॉज ऑफ द प्रॉब्लम्स ऑल्सो। अल्टीमेटली द कॉज ऑफ प्रॉब्लम्स हमको मालूम पड़ता है, बट आज हम लोग उस युग में नहीं है, हम लोग कलयुग में हैं, और कलयुग में कैसे जीना है, प्रभुपाद हैज वेरी नाइसली गिवन अस द वे ऑफ लाइफ. So this way we can end the session. We'll say Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Ram, Hare Ram.
राम राम
Hari Bol, Hari Bol.
ग्रंथराज श्रीमद् भागवतम की जय,
जय।
जगत गुरु पाद की जय। उपविलास